Hello and good morning, my loves. If you're watching this when it is released, my name is Sarah and I'm a part-time reseller on a couple of different platforms, but this video is focusing specifically on Poshmark and my sales in the month of August. Now, June and July were really slow, and August picked up just a little bit. I think there's a couple of different reasons. One, summer slowdown is kind of starting to get to an end. And another reason is because I started Prime Lister during this month. So as I go through these sales, I will try to tell you which ones I think sold specifically from Prime Lister because I've been relisting and doing all kinds of stuff. But anyway, here we go with our first sale. It was a Rachel Roy romper. This came from a flip lot. This sold for $16. There was a little bit of a shipping discount, so that gave me $11.08. After that shipping discount and platform fees, and because it was flip, I also had to split that with the client. On August 3rd, I also sold an item from a flip lot. This was a Columbia gray dress. This sold for $15. There was no shipping discount attached to it. And then after platform fees, that gave $12. And then of course, splitting that profit with the client. If you've watched my other videos before, you know that I set my commission typically at 60%. So I get 60% of the proceeds. However, that is before the platform fees. And because then I have to pay out the platform fees on my 60%, it ends up being roughly 50% is what I get. It's not exactly 50%, but for ease of understanding, it does end up being approximately that 50%. Then on August 5th, this also came up from a flip lot. However, I ended up buying out this lot for $12 a piece. These Doc Marten Stella patent leather Mary Jane shoes, these sold for $51. There was no shipping discount attached to it. So that gave me $40.80 of profit. And then of course, taking out my $12 cost of goods on that one. Doc Marten really is a brand to look out for, but you have to be careful with the particular styles. I got really excited when I saw Doc Marten, but I realized it wasn't the boots as I was thinking. Sorry if that came out a little weird. I cut it out, but I did sneeze at the end of that one. It was not boots as I was hoping for it to be Doc Martens, as is the kind of style that typically sells for the higher price point. This universal thread short sleeve t-shirt came from a ThredUp rescue box in which I say my cost of goods is roughly $2. Again, just like the 50%, just for ease of understanding, it really is less than that $2 point. This ended up selling for $9 with no shipping discount attached to it. So that can be $6.05 of profit. And then of course, taking out that approximate $2 cost of goods. When I account for my cost of goods, I really just track money in versus money out. So I don't necessarily say like I made $4 on this item. I take the month as a whole. How much money did I spend? How much money did I earn? And making sure obviously my money that I earned is well above the money that I spent. That's just the way that I do it. That accounts for things like I get in the ThredUp rescue boxes that ends up being complete donation. So then my cost of goods on each individual piece goes lower, but as long as I'm making that higher price point, I am good to go. I know that there's plenty of people that track piece by piece by piece. I am not somebody that does that. I just pay attention to how much inventory I have, money spent, money that comes back into my pocket. I do use a spreadsheet from somebody that is no longer in the game. I think when she was into reselling, her Instagram handle was the British Posher or something like that. Now she's on a whole new adventure, which I'm having so much fun tracking and following along with her. But I know that she would be totally okay with me sharing this spreadsheet with you. So if that's something that you would like me to walk through, I hopefully will get to that video after I get through all of these what sold. I promised myself I would get to them before I move on to things like the ThredUp rescue box or going through my inventory system. So if you see me kind of rushing through these what sold, that's what I'm trying to do, catch up and get to the really, really good stuff, With that said, if you're not yet subscribed and you want to get to the good stuff and get notified when that good stuff comes out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That allows my videos to go ahead and show up on your homepage, and we can grow and learn together. This Talbot's coral dress came from a flip flat. It ended up selling for $24 with no shipping discount attached to it. That gave $19.20. And then of course, splitting that approximate 50%. These White House Black Market jeans also came from a flip flat. They ended up selling for $20 with no shipping discount attached to it, and that gave $16 after platform fees and roughly $8 of profit for myself. These Democracy AB or AB technology, probably AB technology jeans came from a flip flat. These sold for $23 with no shipping discount attached to it. That gave $18.40 after platform fees, and then of course splitting that cost or splitting that profit 50-50. These Converse All-Star gray and pink sneakers definitely sold because of Prime Lister. I went out of town and I had it relisting my entire closet as I was out of town, and this was a result of this. These ended up selling for $16, no shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $12.80. Now these came from my personal closet, which I am sure that I spent more than this, but I believe I bought them at TJ Maxx or Marshalls, so they were definitely less than full price. These were dirty as can be. I didn't want to take the time to clean them up. It probably could have just been a simple wash, but instead sold them to somebody else to take care of, and now they are loving and enjoying them. I am a full-time assistant principal as my, full-time job, and I wore these shoes a lot to work, and the kids absolutely love them. I'm in middle school, so they definitely let me know what they do and they don't love, and they were all about these ones, but they did mention to me, oh, you might need to clean them up a little bit, and as I said, wasn't going to put that effort into it, sold them, bought some new shoes instead. These Victoria's Secret Sport leggings came from a flip flat. These sold for $19. There was a $1.72 shipping discount attached to it though, so that gave me $13.48 after platform fees and that shipping discount, and then splitting that up as well. These navy shorts by Lot are pretty old, so I'm pretty sure they sold as a result of Prime Lister relisting my entire closet. These sold for $18, and then that gave me $14.40 of profit after platform fees, because these did come from that free inventory that I sourced through the Nextdoor app. If you are new around here, I connected with somebody on the Nextdoor app and have been going back to them a couple of times. They were completely cleaning out their closet, come from a very, very wealthy neighborhood and very wealthy family. They have so many clothes. These had tags on them along with other things. So I am still making profit of things that I got a year ago. These Adidas men khaki shorts came from another flip flat. These sold for $12 with no shipping discount attached to it. That gave $9.05 after platform fees, and then having to split that out as well. This 10-piece mystery box sold for $22. There was no shipping discount attached to it. Anytime I do mystery boxes like this, I also put 11, maybe 12 items in them just to make the person who purchased extra happy with it. Because, with mystery boxes, it is a little bit of a risk. The things that I put in these mystery boxes are items that I got that free inventory through Nextdoor. Some of it I have not listed yet. It's just sitting in my forever death pile. But then also some items from ThredUp Rescue Box as well. So they're not, I'll be honest, they're not like the most amazing things, but for $22 with the mystery box and getting 11 or 12 items instead, people are always pretty happy about it, and this person for sure was happy about it. They definitely let me know. I think with that one too, somebody was buying items specifically for themselves because they did request specific sizing. So there are some people out there that just, want to get a whole lot of clothes in their size and they're putting trust in somebody else to kind of style them. I did look at their closet to see kind of their style as it is and try to match it. So I did put a little bit of thought and work into that, and I think they really did appreciate that one. This Urban Romantics orange and white blouse came from a ThredUp rescue box. It sold for $8 with no shipping discount. That gave me $5.05 of profit, and then taking out my, of course, approximately $2 cost of goods on that one. These BP neon hoop earrings really surprised me at how much they sold for. They sold for $20 with no shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $16 of profit after platform fees. Now these came from a Quick Lots general merchandise Nordstrom half pallet that I got about a year ago. I think in my previous video I said 2 years ago, but it was actually just 1 year ago. So my cost of goods here, I want to say, was about $4 or $5. I definitely made on this one. I definitely made on that palette overall. I was just really surprised that some earrings went for $20 and then the person paid for shipping on top of them. But I'm not mad about the profit that I made up for it. This Forever 21 cold shoulder sweater came from a ThredUp rescue box. This ended up selling for $8 with no shipping discount. That gave me $5.05, and then of course taking out that cost of goods as well. Now I did recently get another ThredUp rescue box that I unboxed in July, and stuff like that, the Forever 21 stuff, I ended up just taking to Plato's Closet and pretty much just getting $2 for it. If they didn't take it at Plato's Closet, I ended up donating it at my school. We do have kind of like a clothing closet for students, stuff that was appropriate for students to wear, I took it there, and if it wasn't appropriate for students to wear, I donated through the Nextdoor app. I just said, hey, here's a bunch of, size small clothes, pick it up, do what you want with it. Some people, maybe they were resellers, none of my business. Some people, they also wanted the clothes just for themselves, just as I did with the mystery box. This Brooks Brothers men's blue long sleeve button-up shirt came from a flip lot. It sold for $15. That gave me $12 after platform fees, and then of course splitting that profit approximately 50%. Now this particular person, I got so many Brooks Brothers shirts, and as I said in my previous what sold videos, when I received them, I was thinking that they would sell for way more than this, but as I got to research, check comps, everything like that, I realized there are literally thousands of these shirts listed. So my shirt really doesn't mean anything to people. I'm excited that some of them are selling, but there's definitely some that are just sitting there, and that's probably how somebody ended up giving them in a flip lot anyways, because it is another reseller. They probably realized that, passed it on to somebody else, and that somebody else, that sucker, would be me. This Targa or Tanga, I forget which one it really was. I was looking in this tag for like forever trying to figure out if it was Tanga or Targa. I think I ended up listing it as Targa. Correct me if I got that completely wrong. But anyways, this was an acrylic zip up kind of vintage looking, or maybe it was a vintage sweater. It came from a ThredUp rescue box. It sold for $5 with no shipping discount attached to it. Hopefully, $5 lets you know, didn't make all that much money on it. It gave me $2.05, and because my cost of goods on that was just under $2, I basically made my money back on that one. Now, I will say these vintage or vintage looking pieces are most definitely not my expertise, so I could have let that go for way less than it really was, or maybe it really wasn't something that's not really my jam in my particular style, and when I was researching, I couldn't really find anything else either. I know that some people, their style is the vintage or vintage looking pieces, and they can style it in such a way that they can sell it for way, way more. That's not me. $5 out the door. I don't have to look at it. It was pretty bulky in my inventory system. I was happy to get it out and just get my money back on that one. This Topshop cropped top came from a flip plot in which I bought out the remaining inventory that didn't sell in the 90 days. This was one of those pieces. My cost of goods here was $4. This sold for $10 with the shipping discount, so that was $5.33, and then taking out that $4 cost of goods. But again, just like the last one, it's something out of my house. These Chico's Travelers 2 Petite pants came from a Quick Let's Amazon palette that I sourced well over a year ago now. It was my first big purchase in terms of sourcing other than Goodwill. These sold for $32. There was a shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $22.92 of profit. My cost of goods on that palette was roughly 50 cents. Now I checked to see if they do have this particular palette at this time, and they do not. So typically I would, show you a little picture of what it looks like here, put a description down below, but at this time they don't. I highly suggest though you continuously check Quick Let's to see if it does come back up if you are more of a volume seller. As you can see, my cost of goods here was 50 cents to $32. I would say that that is a pretty good profit. Now, nothing in that palette was anything that was super high priced. It was all Amazon stuff that is sold on Amazon. Chico's, believe it or not, is sold on Amazon. So that's how it ended up in that particular palette. That palette is not labeled as Amazon. It's labeled as brand new apparel. They do have one also that is brand new shoes. That is Amazon, so it's kind of a gamble if you want, Amazon quality shoes. I do have a lot of Amazon shoes for myself that I'm all about them for sure. But I don't know, for reselling, is it worth it, not worth it? It's kind of a guessing game here. I have not gotten this shoe on. These J. Jill Ponte knit pants came from a flip plot. These sold for $17 with the shipping discount attached to it. That was $10.92 after those platform fees and shipping. This Brooks Brothers red, white, and blue check shirt, again, sold for less than I was hoping. It sold for $12. No shipping discount. That was $9.05. And of course, Brooks Brothers, definitely that flip flop. And now we're on August 17th. On this day, an orange Rami Brooke mini skirt sold. This came from a flip plot. It sold for $30. There was no shipping discount attached to it, and that gave me $24 after platform fees. And then of course, just like the other ones, having to split that profit with the client. Also on this day, I sold a diesel short sleeve button-up shirt. This sold for $12. It did come from a flip plot. Now in that flip plot, it was represented as a size small within the flip listing, and that is what I listed it for. I did not see a size tag. I don't know why I didn't take measurements or think of any of this, but it was actually, I think it was a large, and the buyer from Poshmark actually ended up finding the size tag. I think I just didn't look clearly enough. So they opened a case, perfect enough for me. I said, yep, Poshmark will probably accept it in the comments. That was definitely my fault, owned up to it. On cases, I typically don't say anything in the chat just because I realize that Poshmark just kind of takes care of things. If they have any questions for me, of course, they will always ask, but I think I've only had that one time. Because I didn't say anything, Poshmark just did its thing, and it ended up siding with both sides, which is what they typically do, at least for me. I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, I have seen time and time again, they side with both parties. So I was able to get my money. They were able to keep the piece, but also get their money back. I said, might as well go ahead and resell it. Or if you know somebody else that wants it, it's yours now. It's completely free to do whatever you want with it. I guess that's something that's why we pay the 20% to Poshmark, and I think they kind of realize that. So they try to make it as friendly and as positive of an experience as they possibly can. And to me, it's working. I really like using this platform for this very reason. It's just very easy going, easy as can be. I don't really have any problems on this particular platform. Now, of course, I know there's different things that could be fixed, but overall, I would say it's the easiest platform to be on, which is why I think I spend most of my concentration, most of my time here. I've also noticed that pieces go for a little bit higher on Poshmark than they do on other platforms. So while they take a higher commission out, my cost of, or not my cost of goods, my average sale price is higher on Poshmark compared to the other platforms. These Michael Kors green striped shorts came from some of that free inventory that I got through the Nextdoor app. These sold for $18 with the shipping discount. That gave me $12.68 of profit after platform fees and after that shipping discount. Now, that same person reached out to me early this morning asking if I wanted to get some more clothes for them. And of course, my answer is yes. So I will be sharing that along with my ThredUp hauls as well with you. But I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Definitely tell people what you do, whether you have any kind of platform or not. Just the people in your lives are there willing to support you. Take the support from them, get that free inventory, make that money. These 7 For All Mankind men's jeans came from a flip-flop. These sold for $36 with no shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $28.60 of profit, and then of course splitting that profit with the client. And now we're on August 19th. On August 19th, I did sell a bundle of 2 items. The first item was a pair of Hudson skinny jeans, and these came from some inventory that I paid for through sourcing through the Nextdoor app. It's somebody I connected to, and we decided on 50-50 actual profits. And then the second piece was a Lululemon racerback tank. This came from a flip-flop. Now together, the profits that I got from that was $17.60, and then splitting that in half, paying out for the Hudson jeans and then paying out for the Lululemon tank top as well. Now, Lululemon tank top did not have a size tag on it at all. I promise you, I searched every single little spot that there could possibly be that little size dot. There was not one on there. So I did go based off of the sizing that the client on Flip provided to me. It was their own personal clothing, and it aligned with all the sizing that they had in their other clothes just the same. This Ming Wang cardigan and shell set came from a flip-flop. I had a couple of different Ming Wang sets from this particular client. This one sold for $31 with no shipping discount, so that was $24.80 after platform fees. And then of course, I've said this before, I had to go ahead and pay out the client for that as well. This J. Crew green linen blend blouse came from a flip-flop. It sold for $15 with no shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $12 of profit, and then paying out the client as well. This Polo Ralph Lauren graphic t-shirt came from my significant other's closet, so it was free inventory for me. This sold for $10 with no shipping discount. That gave me $7.05 of profit because it was free. It all came straight into my pocket. You know, the money gets spent on the significant other anyways, but it just feels good to be, supported in my little venture I have going on here. This Zara oversized denim jacket came from a flip-flop. It sold for $20 with no shipping discount. That gave $16 of profit before having to pay out the client. This Inc. International Concepts yellow sunflower dress came from some of that free inventory that I sourced through the Nextdoor app. This sold for $13 with no shipping discount. That gave me $10.05 of complete profit. Another Brooks Brothers button-up shirt did sell. This one sold for $16, which I was actually pretty surprised about. There was no shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $12.80 of profit, and then of course having to pay out the client just the same. This splendid oversized tote and wristlet came from a flip plat in which I did buy out. So my cost of goods on this was $4. It ended up selling for $30 with no shipping discount, so that gave me $24 of profit, taking out my $4 cost of goods, so that gave me $20 of true profit. These, I believe you pronounce it Badgley Mishka shoes, sold for $70. There was no shipping discount attached to it. That gave $56 of profit. Now this was from a flip plat, and when I connected to this specific client, this client was very intentional in saying they were not going to take anything less than $200 for the lot, which there were 2 pairs of shoes from this brand. When I did receive these shoes, they were pretty worn up, even though they were kind of explained to me as being worn once just inside. They most definitely were a little bit more used than that. So I did have to explain we were probably going to get less than the $200 for it. And because of my 60% commission that I'm taking, she will definitely get well less than $200 for it. I did kind of ask her what she wanted to do. I did receive an offer for this, and she said, let's just go ahead and take the money for it. So I think sometimes when people with consignment, they do not have the most realistic expectations for what items are going to go ahead and sell for. We sometimes with our own items, we're like, I put all this money into it, but in reality, people are not gonna wanna buy a used item for the same amount of money that they would spend for completely new. I did look up comps for this one particular pair of shoes, and brand new they were selling at about the $100 mark. So I knew for sure used we would get nowhere close to that. And of course it ended up selling for the $60. With friends, that's even something that I have to kind of explain to them and manage their expectations. We do kind of set different piles. Okay, we might get realistically like $5 for the shirt after platform fees, realistically $10 or $15 for this or for that. And I think people kind of come to this like weird realization like, oh, I'm spending a little bit too much money on clothes if this is what people are spending on my clothes that I think are in brand new condition. It has been kind of cool to bring different people into understanding that using or buying used clothes is perfectly acceptable and perfectly okay. I think that kind of overall in society is kind of changing our mindset. We are going a little bit more to a sustainable lifestyle instead of always going to fast fashion. Of course, fast fashion is always going to be there. People are always going to want the on-trend items, but they kind of intermix sustainable pieces or used pieces as well. This Nautica Oxford button-down shirt came from my significant other's closet. This sold for $7, no shipping discount. That gave $4.05 of profit. Because it was free, that was all profit to me. This intimately free gray and black nightie or gown came from a flip plat. It did sell for $15 with no shipping discount after platform fees. That was $12. And of course, just like the other pieces, I did have to go ahead and pay out the client. Also in August, I did sell a 3-piece bundle, and the first piece in that bundle was a Joe Jeans Classic Fit pants or jeans. These came from a flip plat, so I did have to go ahead and pay out the client on that. The next 2 pieces were completely free. This Ben Sherman short sleeve button-up shirt came from a friend, just completely donated. I didn't have to pay consignment or any kind of fees on that shirt. And the last piece was a Louis Raphael men's tailored dress pants. That came from my significant other's closet, also completely free to me. Altogether, these sold for $61 with no shipping discount. After the platform fees, that was $48.80. Now, every time with bundles, I just divide the total price by however many items was in that particular bundle. So the only piece that I had to pay out was these Joe's jeans, in which it was a third of the actual profits. These Blink NYC distressed jeans came from a flip flat. These sold for $18 with a shipping discount due to Prime Lister. These sold for $12.68 after the platform fees, and then of course having to split out that profit with the client as well. Now that was my last sale on Poshmark in the month of August. My coming video will be my sales on eBay in the month of August. So as I said before, if you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That allows you to know when that eBay video comes out. So it allows you to kind of compare platforms to see what is selling on one platform versus what is selling on another platform. Of course, I always want to continue my goal of growing and learning together, so I hope to see you there.